Morning, everyone. It so turned out Puan Sri brought Tan Sri. They just arrived yesterday, and they will tell the story. And at the same time, we also have another good something to show with a brain tumor patients with a tumor string, okay? And that will be in the afternoon. So there's a lot of good things here, and it's not easy to get Puan Sri. She just came back from Kenya, Africa, And Puan Sri, please. Yeah.
Hi, a very good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank European Wellness and also Professor Dr. Mike Chan for giving me this opportunity to be here today, to be able to share something really magical, luar biasa, that happened to my family. I'm Nisa. I'm in my late 50s. But age has never been my, defining my spirit to where I want to go and what I want to be. I'm an entrepreneur, a chef driven by my passion for cooking, and I think they've already introduced me on that already, so I needless to say more. My background is actually on finance, economic, and business management. I was in investment and banker before. But more than anything, I am a proud mother, a grandmother. I have one daughter who has two sons, Raul and Ryan. And my first grandson, Raul, he's autistic. But he's an extraordinary boy. Despite his age, he's going to be 9 soon, this month. He possesses an incredible intellect. He's top student, excellent academically, and recently earning a recognition as a top student in his school for his AI design that he drew that he wanted to be a chef, like me. He aspires to be a chef, and every time I hear him say that, I feel really a wave of emotion that this is how far he has come. And I have to tell you, the truth is, without the stem cells that we did on Raul,
of the brain, specifically.
He would not have be where he is now at the age of coming off to 9. Maybe I'll start with Raul a little bit before I go on Tan Sri, because we started stem cell on 2023, right, for Raul?
Yes.
Yeah. We did one stem cell, the first stem cell on him, and Dr. Mike said, look, Raul will have some reaction maybe in 2 weeks' time. You will see the improvement in 2 weeks' time, because stem cell doesn't take, it doesn't take an overnight thing. So he gave me this advice, and to my daughter as well. And we were very hopeful. But I have to tell you this. The next morning, Raul came down. He wasn't jumping. He wasn't hyper like he used to always is. He just came to us and said, I'm hungry. We were all dumbfounded. We were shocked because he doesn't talk. Raul he doesn't have speech. He couldn't speak, but that's what the cell was cultured for him to have expression, for him to be able to say something. And that was the first time in, he was 7, yeah. So 6 years, almost 7, we didn't hear a word from me except meltdowns, frustration, anger, because he couldn't be able to say anything or express his feelings. So at the age of 7, it started, and from then on, we recently did another stem cell on him to mellow him down. He's still a little bit hyper, but we are addressing each one of his characteristic or behavior where we can improve him. But the best was his intelligence. He's a genius. He does figures, mathematics, just like, like shaking his head like this. He shakes, and he gets the answer. It's amazing. I think he's a maths genius. He's very creative. He can draw very well. He drew the chef of himself in AI design. It was amazing. He was top student. He's also top student in his school. His math is 100. So this is where the development has started from the time we begin stem cells on him. So that's Raul. He's supposed to be here with the mom, but the mom is working, so she couldn't get time off, so we will have to bring him back again. But he's on constant observation with our beloved Dr. Mike. And every progress that goes on with Raul, the mother and me, we are always discussing with Dr. Mike. And Dr. Mike is hands-on about how to make him better and better and better. So, inshallah, I think we are already on track with that and heading towards that. Okay, another thing, let's talk about...
okay, before that,
yeah.
I will give some explanation on Ralph. Now, why is he getting smarter all the time? You see, for all autistic children, it's an attention span problem. They don't have much eye interaction, and some of them don't even have. Now, which part of the brain is responsible for that? Short attention span is with the frontal lobe. So when we give the frontal lobe to him, he will be more focused. But there was another part of the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is also your IQ. So the more frontal lobe we are giving you, the sharper you become. The whole brain, the 67 cells in your brain, in the 52 lobes, there are 52 lobes in the part of the brain. All the cells, all the brain cells in all of us, after 20 will start to decline. 20, it's very young. But there was one special part of the brain called the frontal lobe. It's only fully developed by the age of 24. So can you make your child smarter? The answer is yes, because the frontal lobe is only fully developed at 24. So you give the frontal lobe, his attention span is smarter. Again, with sportsmen, we become more focused. You see, most of the time, you are not focused all the time. You're losing. It's like in the casino, you spend time, after some time, you lose money because you can't focus. When you can't focus, your memory power is also gone. So with Rauf, I'm very confident that he will continue to be smarter as he goes along. Okay, there's some part of the uniqueness about autistic children. There are two parts of the brain. One part is smarter than the rest. It shoots up when the child is going up. The other part remains. So at times, sometimes it could be a 26-year-old man, but with the brain of a 16-year-old in terms of social problem. So with all ADHD, I would say the main thing is the social side. And I told you my story. Myself at 7 don't speak at all. Okay, I was called Dumbo until today. The nickname, that means they thought I'm dumb. My own mother thought I'm dumb. She's telling everyone I thought I have a dumb child. Until today, you meet my mom, she will say the same. Now, the good part is my PA told me now it looks like Mike Chan was dumb for 7 years, now he speaks more. You know? Yeah, now there's a lot of things. And the way I heard the story from Rao that he was creative in his own way is something I come to realize. I never draw in my life, and when I was at 9 years old in school, I won an international drawing contest, second prize, without going to drawing school. You know, I continue still to draw very well. I can draw anything given with a book, and I will just draw it up, you know. So there are special genius with autistic children. We call them savants. And you notice that many of them, Albert Einstein is a genius. He's an autistic child. He didn't do well in school. Okay, but in the later part, they showed up. So all we have to do is to solve the social skill of the child. And I'm willing to do this, and are there solutions for this? Yes. And conservatively, we are telling everyone, you know, for adults it's 3 months. And for children, I always say 2 to 3 months or weeks. It depends on the child. The younger is the child, the better is the results. But our oldest autistic child is 34. Okay, we still manage to put it under good records if you see the testimonial. So for Rauf, he will improve with each treatment. Because why with each treatment is because each time you give the therapy, There's a limit on the weight. We look at the weight of a person to give the cells. And then we have to determine which part of the cells, which composition, and which volume. If you have the first, for a 7-year-old, you could be giving 9 cells. So which are the 9 cells you have to give? But because of the frontal lobe, we may say we have to target that we have to give to 3 cells on the frontal lobe. So we are left with 4. Then you have to choose which 4 you have to give. Then you have to deal with the emotion part of autistic children, you know. So that is where we may also consider the hippocampus for emotion. Because a lot of all these children do not know danger too, okay? So this is how we blend, and everyone is different, including all the autistic children you treat even at 1 go 50, all are treated differently. It's the same for Alzheimer's, it's the same for Parkinson. But there's something I'd like to remind everyone. All autistic child will be a high risk of Alzheimer's, early candidate. So obviously you have to solve this problem. Can an autistic child be normalized? The answer is yes. And why in the case of Rao, he reacts so fast the next morning? This is not the first case. I had patients also autistic who came from China. The next morning when they left for the airport, the mother called me from the airport. I do not know what is happening. My child is different, you know. This, sometimes they act faster. Because we say the homing effect takes place within 48 hours to 72 hours. You know, I always say that within 48 to 72. But the word is within. So sometimes it reaches faster. Sometimes it reaches slower. There's no barrier on blood-brain barrier in the terms of a damage in the brain. It opens up on that instant, that part of the brain, okay, has been done in publication. This is my technical explanation, okay? I will do everything for all the autistic children in the world. We are going to form a big association, foundation, where no one should be making any money, and all the money will be for the betterment of all these, I call them lesser children of a greater God. But please change my phrase, you know, if we have a better word for that. Okay? I want to do the best for all the children. I want to make it affordable. Everyone can afford to be treated. That includes all these children, neurodevelopmental disorder. Okay, thank you. We move on to the next one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, my family, our journey has been filled with a lot of challenges and triumph as well. But today I want to share with you a story of resilience, hope, and healing. An emotional journey that has touched every one of us deeply. And this journey, I couldn't have gone through and be here today to be sharing with you without Dr. Mike. So please give an applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, let's start with, go ahead with my husband, Dato Sri Bakri. He is a retired policeman. He was the Deputy Inspector General Police for Malaysia. He retired like 10 years ago.
And the longest CID chief.
Yeah.
You always remember him. Yeah.
Very intelligent. He's got a memory that was like lightning, you know. He remembers everything. And in fact, till today, he still has pretty good memory. Yeah. My husband has Parkinson's disease. So you can imagine, I have a grandson who's autistic. Then I have a husband who has Parkinson's. And with Parkinson's, he also had depression. And he had anxiety. He had panic attacks. Sometimes I think he also have hallucinations. And I became the anchor of the family. I have to take the step to wear my boots, wear my pants, get out there, and be the strength for the family. Because as strong as my husband once was, he was not being that man anymore. And I think it also affected him personally. And of course, I am the only person he can vent his frustration. So I have to be very strong. A lot of my emotional matters that I go through, I share a lot with Dr. Mike. How do I do this? How do I strengthen myself? How do I move ahead? So in 2022, we did the stem cell. I got to know Dr. Mike, and we did stem cells other places as well, but it just didn't work.
They have been around the world trying stem cells.
It didn't work. I do a lot of reading, and stem cell is something I personally believed that it can help my husband, because Parkinson is not curable, but we could do something to reverse it. And by reading, we did in Korea, we did in India. And when I met Dr. Mike in 2022,
December.
I had, how it started was actually a supplements.
Yes.
Because I was climbing Mount Kinabalu. And I needed to strengthen my heart, my energy, and there were samples of the supplements.
It's called MF3PE soft
Yeah.
gel. It's good for the brain and
Energy.
stamina. Yes,
So
and
stamina.
energy.
So I contacted him, and he replied me. I was so, I couldn't believe he replied me actually, because I know he's so busy. But he replied me.
I reply every emails and inquiries. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. And I climbed Mount Kinabalu just with the supplement, using the supplement. And it helped me tremendously. That's when I said, there's got to be more with European wellness. There's got to be something more that I want to venture. And that's when, to cut the story short, we did the first stem cell in 2022. And there was tremendous improvement. It's just like 80% he improved. There were other things that we were not looking at. It was more, the treatment was more for the Parkinson, for the brain, you call it the Nigra stem cells.
Substantial nigra, the part of the brain which produces the dopamine. In the case of Parkinson, the main problem is the substantial nigra, because there's a depletion of the substantial nigra. That's explain the reason why he has Parkinson.
Yeah.
So you must put back the substantial nigra.
So, and he improved that. There were other things that was still, we haven't addressed the issue yet. Then we did in 2023, we did another stem cell addressing his depression and anxiety. We did that also early this year, his panic attacks. That improved 60, 70%. So there was his Parkinson improving, there is his depression improving, his anxiety is improving, panic attack is getting lesser. And the best part, I must tell you, is this year, just a couple of months after the stem cells, we had a short break, and the family went and we played pickleball. So I was playing pickleball, and suddenly my husband just said, I'm playing. I said, oh, okay. And he hit the ball, his alertness, I was shocked. I was so shocked. He actually challenged me, and when the ball went over, he even dove, fell down to grab the ball. He got up, and he continued to play, although he was bruised on his knees and his hands. So you see how much he has actually improved. That pickleball that he participated actually was a proof to show how much it has reversed. And his memory is good. He hasn't lost his memory. So I really wanted to share this part about my husband, because I myself felt so overwhelmed. And I sent the videos and photos to Dr. Mike because I was so excited. I said, look, he played. He actually got up, he moved, he did things which he would do maybe 10 years ago, or even longer, maybe 20 years ago.
Yes.
When you're healthy and younger, He's 70 years old. So you see, that's a great thing. Although we have more things like, I think he has a lot of time, maybe, and there are other things coming in, affecting him emotionally. So these are things that I'm hoping to address. Dr. Mike will be addressing it. Yeah.
Okay, coming back to the depressions and anxieties. All neurodegenerative patients, especially with dementia, especially with Parkinson and Alzheimer's, they do have some point in time they will have, of course, all of them have anxieties, but depression is also coming in, you know. So which part of the brain is dealing with the depression? The hippocampus again. So the hippocampus is so important. It's for the emotion, so that affects the emotion with the depression. But remember yesterday I was mentioning about the hippocampus. As you age, you know, after 40 you're losing 5% every 10 years. So what happened? It's shrinking means the way you walk already tell you how stable you are, how young you are, okay? When you're young, you can jump, you can walk, you go straight, but as you age, you go wobbly, sideways, you know? That's how you walk, okay? So by looking at the person, the way he walks already tell you to a certain extent how old he is. You know, it's not just, for people like us, the first thing we look at a person, I always look at your teeth, the base of your teeth. Because you're younger, your teeth are closer, and the gums are higher. But as you age, they recede, and the teeth looks longer, and the gap is always there. You can do anything, but it's difficult to hide the gums. So coming back to Puan Sri, you know, he's such a reputable guy. You know, I know him not because I know him personally. I see the news around the world. I mean, when I was around, you know, I travel back to Malaysia all the time, although I spend most of the time in Europe. And I see all the police cases, all the CID, all the crimes, you know. Imagine one of the biggest guy around in the country and a highly respected CID chief, and he ran into kind of a depression and with all this. I believe I can do so much for him, and we will continue to do more. First, we have to tackle every angle of the brain. Every part of the brain is involved. Okay, so which one is more important? So in my way of assessment, through my experience of treating Parkinson patients, we wrote a book on Parkinson. And the important thing is, look at the weight of a person, determine which part of the brain is more important to target. First, of course, the substantia nigra, and of course, the hippocampus. But then you still have to give the whole brain. Because the whole brain is shrinking, the whole brain is also affected. Every part, every organ have to work synergically together. So along the way, as you age, you may have other problems. For a man, it could be a prostate problem. What about the lungs, heart, liver, kidney? Everything is coming in the hormones, you know. So we still have to give the other part. But the main target will be on the brain. So it always depends on the person. So it's impossible to just treat a guy or a woman with a disease targeting on the brain or on the heart while the rest you are not going to treat. You have to look at the whole organ. So that means you target, in the case of Puan Sri, I give him a lot on the brain, but I still have to take care of his other vital organs, including the heart, the lungs, the kidney, you know. That's how we target. So it's impossible to just give one type of brain cells and it works. But the brain cells is the most important part, because without a good brain span, there's no quality life. So we must look after our brain very much, you know. And in terms of Raul, it's the same scenario. It's also the brain, okay? So it's so important for us to understand the brain controls almost everything in the body. Apart from the heart, you need it to be alive. It's the only organ which don't rest, you know that. The rest of the organs need to rest. And sleep is the way to regenerate. This is my way of accessing the things. I love to treat Parkinson. I love to treat Alzheimer's. We also wrote a book on Alzheimer's. Every month we are going to US. In LA, we have a lot of Alzheimer's and Parkinson and autistic children, you know. And I hope we can do more, and I am sure Puan Sri will assist me in doing more for all these people around the world and create the awareness. Awareness is so important because everyone thought, oh, it's incurable, it's untreatable. There's no way you can do it. You can continue to take the dopamine drug for Parkinson, but after some time it won't work at all. So my first experience physically with Puan Sri was Puan Sri brought me, and I met them at Publica in a restaurant, open air restaurant, and I saw Tan Sri. He was speaking to me, but I can see the stiffness for him, even trying to express the speech. I don't understand what he was talking at all, but I have to respect him as a person. I was trying my best to grasp what he said, and my observation, even for two hands to hold a cup of coffee or tea is difficult for him. And later on, I can see he can hold a teapot with one hand. That is a lot of difference. When you have two hands trying to hold a cup, and then you have one with a teapot with confidence, that is already a different. So the pickleball one was something which amazed me very much. Yeah. In fact,
indeed, Indeed.
Yes.
And and I have to talk about myself now. I'm a very active person. I like to hike, I love to read, and I also do kickboxing. And recently, of course, we are all, aging. So I did the stem cell recently with Dr. Mike. And I have to tell you this, I had a big problem for over a year. It was very stressful for me. I couldn't share it with anyone. And I had to tell Dr. Mike, I couldn't smell. After COVID, I think I had a very bad influenza. And after that, I couldn't smell. My smell senses just went off completely. My palate, I couldn't taste because, all your senses are affected. And I told Dr. Mike, I want to do this stem cell. But number one, can I get my smell back? So Dr. Mike said, of course you can get your smell back. It's a frontal problem. It's not a big problem. You'll get it back. So, okay, that was one. And second was my knee, because I was hiking a lot. I injured my knee. And I said, we'll fix your knee. You don't worry about going through operations or anything, we'll do it through the stem cells. So I did that a few months ago, I think.
Around Chinese New Year.
Around Chinese New Year,
February.
Yeah, recently, very
yes.
recently.
Yes.
And Dr. Mike said, don't worry, in about a week or so, you should get your smell back, everything should be all right. Just let me know the progress. You won't believe it. The next day, I could smell. The very next day, I could smell my taste bud, everything. For a person who cook, I'm a cook. Losing my smell and my taste bud was huge problem. It's a big problem because I was cooking for people. And when I got it back, I just couldn't believe these stem cells are really a miracle. And the confidence that Dr. Mike gave me, I think that added even more. But he said in a week, but it happened the next day. And my knee, when they did the injection, it was in about few days. I didn't have any more pain. So now I just do maintenance. Because I love hiking. I love going out into the forest. And,
we can do it for you afterwards.
Yes. So I just want to maintain, keep it up. And even for my smell, because I think it's all the cells going up there, and I'm in front of a lot of smoke, I'm cooking, all this. So to me, what I feel right now is maintaining. Maintaining, because as we age, we lose a lot of things. We don't know what goes on with our lifestyles. My lifestyle, all these have certain things personally that lessen or decreases. Our cells starts to fade or starts to age. So what I'm doing now is doing maintenance. Yeah, I think this is something very unusual, unique. That stem cell is actually giving us life back again. And for me, these are my experience, and 3 real, true experience that I want to create this awareness. Basically, I want to create awareness. Because each one of us, perhaps all of you here, I'm sure each one of us have something secret in us that we want but it's not there, or we lost and we want it back. That is meaningful and necessary for you. And I'm telling you, my experience with urban wellness, the cell therapy over here works because it's result driven. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Puan Sri. And I have to add on that not all stem cells work. It depends on the targeted area, okay? And I always say you have 400 over different types of stem cells to be very specific over your 78 organs. So when we want to talk about the smell, it's still controlled by the brain. The taste is still controlled by the brain. So we can imagine your movement, a lot of things are controlled by the brain. So you have to take very good care of your brain, okay? Because it's so important. So one of the ways of supplements for the brain will be the CNS, the central nervous system. That includes your spinal cord. Because your spinal cord is also controlling your nerves. As you age, you also have nerve problems, you know, the sensation part. So I believe that if you give the right type of stem cells for the right specific problem, I always say you throw all the darts into the dartboard, all must hit it bullseye. Because if you don't hit it bullseye, you don't get the full points. So it's no point to have 20 darts you throw into the dartboard, only one hit bullseye, the rest don't. So why don't you do it in such a way that all the 20 darts hit bullseye? You have the full points. This is what I use the word precision in medicine. Because everyone like to use the word precision, but are you really doing the right precision? Because all the 400 or different types of stem cells and cell in your human body, they all have different blueprints. I always say all human have different blueprints, just like the case of cells. Just like in human, even for twins, you never have the same tongue print, thumb print, and fingerprint. And in the case of cells, I always stress, all the cells in the human body, all the 400 different types of them, have different blueprints in the sense of different molecules. They don't have the same size at all. You want to fit into the parcel, you have to fit the exact size. You will fit it, otherwise there'll be rejection. Number two, amino acid sequences is important because it's of a different components, composition. Number three, glycation, the way it goes, the cells go, the transcription factors. All these, I know it sounds a bit technical for some, but this is how we goes. We look at it in this way. The protein structure of the cells are again different. So there's so many things we have to understand. So never give A to treat the A to Z. It has to be A for A6 for A6, B7 for B7, and Z10 for Z10. So we are going into very specific. The confidence is when you know you have done it before. And when you have done it many times, so the confidence are built up that way. So I'm just sharing my experience of 42 years in this field, running 40 over hospitals and centers ourselves across the world, and dealing with 80,000 doctors around the world, across 80 countries. The experience is over the years. We are learning all the time. So the one with the smell and the taste was a good experience for us. And at that time when I met Puan Sri, it was like overnight, you know. And she spoke to me about her taste and smell. So it wasn't the best I gave her at that time. I honestly say that, you know. But I did know still a certain part, because sometimes you have to culture the cells. When we have to culture the cells or harvest the cells, we need 11 to 14 days. But when I met Puan Sri, it was within a short while. I don't have enough time. But I do have some stock of other cells which I could give a combination. For example, when I have the whole brain, there's certain part of the brain which can do the cells for the taste. But if I have that particular part, that will be a different way to treat the patient, okay? So that is my way of therapy. I always use the word therapy. I don't like to use the word treatment. So I don't want it to sound like it's a drug. Therapy looks the better way of classification, okay? So I'm so happy Puan Sri came here for the therapy with Tan Sri. You know, I just received a call a few days ago, and then all of a sudden Puan Sri say, I'm willing to share my experience. my painful experience and my happy experience now. And they will continue. Puan Sri will always be younger. For her age, she looks fantastically good. Biologically, she's much younger. And what about Tan Sri? Obviously, he will improve and she will keep on improve. There is no cure, but you keep on doing some reversal or you maintain to prevent the decline. Especially with Alzheimer's and Parkinson, they decline very fast. So even for some patients, when we first treated some Alzheimer's patient in US, I have one patient, she did 2 treatments, you don't see much results. I told her, you have to be a bit patient, because when we give the first dose, it's always lesser. And we have to fill up a leaking bottle with water. The water is going down, and you're filling up. Because if you don't fill up, it's worse, it's dry up. So it's the same scenario with all of us here. All the organs will have the leaking bottle scenario. It's depleting. Because after 60, you only have 5% left of your stem cells. That includes the brain. A lot of things are going down. So if you don't replenish, you will always be depleted. So we must replenish. So if someone will say, can I do the stem cell once and for all and then I will be forever young forever? Impossible. Because every day you are losing cells. And every day some of the cells will never be back. So that is the important part. But the brain and the liver are very different organs. The brain can regenerate, the liver can regenerate. Unlike your heart or the kidney, they don't regenerate much. So in the case of the brain, there are regeneration all the time. We call it neuroplasticity. But the problem, like I say, the degeneration is so fast that the regeneration is not enough to cope. So you still degenerate, okay? I always say the timeline for your brain is 70. So if you can extend the timeline to 100 and 120, why not? Okay? Yes. And thank you so much, Puan Sri.
Thank you,
And
Dr.
imagine
Mike.
a woman at 55 or in her 50s climbing Mount Kinabalu. I climbed Mount Kinabalu at 36. I may not be able to do it now. She had climbed it 4 times, you know. She just finished one recently. You know, I can tell you more than 75% in this crowd here will not be able to climb because it's the tallest mountain in Southeast Asia. It's so high. I have an experience of two young men in the 20s, halfway they're crying there. They're crying halfway, whether to go up to come down. They're stuck in between. They do not know what to do. They're so afraid. And they cry. For a man in the 20s to cry, I was very stunned myself at that time, you know. Yeah. So you can imagine for a woman, she said she wanted to climb more. She wanted to climb a few times a day. And she just led a group of 10 of them, right? Yeah, 20 women climbing. Oh my God. We have to follow her style, you know. And each time you say, Mike, what supplement should I take? I remember the first time she said, I will not climb tomorrow until I get your supplements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He sent it the very next day.
Yeah, and we delivered to her house, you know. Yeah. So are there solutions for every degenerative condition? The answer is yes. It depends on how you blend. Blending is important. We have everything. I know you guys are all physicians, except for 1 or 2 of you who are not. You know the problem. You're actually looking for a solution. We are the people who are providing the solutions through our experience. It's not just through my own or my wife's experience, of course, with my big team of doctors, and also with our masters, which we have been learning all the time. I'm still learning from every one of you. I believe there's more to share, and this is one of the good experiences I have. And it's not the only one I see overnight, but I'm always a very conservative person. I always tell the patient 3 months. Although I know very well it may not be 3 months. I rather be saying 3 months than to say 3 weeks and then it won't happen. Because it happens differently for every one of us. Differently. So the younger, sometimes you react faster. I have a cerebral palsy child in Penang many years ago, 20 years ago. The father called me. I go understand what you did. My child was standing up yesterday. I mean the next day. So things happen, okay? God is wonderful. He guided us along and he gave us, every patient we meet, I would say we are destined by God, you know. I believe that, okay? The meeting with some of you today is also destined by God. You came and you see something here. And what you will do in the future will determine a lot for the wellness of others, okay? And you have any question to ask from here? Yes, please. You're saying senescent cells.
First, before you give stem cell therapy? Or?
Yeah, you can give the mic, yeah. Okay, you're saying that will stem cell work on senescent cells, right?
No. So, in my practice, we use senolytics. So,
Yes.
quercetin, fisetin combination,
Yes.
or dasatinib,
Yes.
quercetin.
Okay.
So, does it make sense to clear the senescent cells before giving the stem cell to increase the honing? So, do you use any sort of senolytic therapy?
Okay, let me explain to you about what is senescent cells. All cells are programmed to die. But sometimes you have certain cells which refuse to die. You know, and we call them senescent cells. The word senescence means it's aging. It's like all of us, we are moving into senescence, you know. So with senescent cells, when the cells refuse to die after some time, they become zombie cells, we call it. And the zombie cells can become cancer cells. So we must eradicate these senescent cells out from the body. And one of the ways to reduce the senescent cells in the body is we have some other therapies. We have super transfer factors. Okay, we have the timers, which increase the NK cells at the same time, apart from the other good effect. They remove the senescent cells, they reduce. It's impossible to clear all the senescent cells in your body. Of course, with supplements, you can do something, but in my dictionary, nothing works better than an injectable, because injectables go straight into the bloodstream. Okay? If you want something to say is sublingual, today many people say, I give you sublingual, it's as good as an injectable. That depends. Because the mucosa of your tongue is 50 nanometers, 50 to 75. Most of the time when you give something, the molecules is so big, so they can't go through the mucosa of your tongue. In our way of assessment, where we won an award for introducing nanotechnology in injectables, and we call it the NOP today, we won a technology around 20 years ago. So we took a lot of time to turn an injectable, okay, of 300 or 700 nanometers to 2 nanometers. And that's why they can go through the mucosa of the tongue. We have to do that because we have a lot of comatic patients or autistic children who refuse to be injected. You can't be injecting a child all the time. You know, she had the experience, the next time she may not want it. So can they take it every day? And that's what we do for autistic children. I do it for comatic patients who are lying there, you know. So these are some of the things we can do by making it into nanometers. And we call them nanoparticles sometimes. They're so small, okay? So can we clear senescent cells? The answer is yes. Clearing more senescent cells means we clear the cancer cells in a way. Do we all have cancer cells in the body? Yes. We are not born with cancer cells, but the way cancer cells accumulated in our body is so fast. Again, with our lifestyle and environmental factor, you're exposed. It depends on what sort of occupation you're in, you're more exposed. It's like Parkinson patients, there's a lot working in oil fields. Why? Because there's a lot of heavy metals in oil fields. They're working there. There are people with strong risk. We have a lot of Parkinson patients in oil fields in their early 40s. Early 40s. They are big executives and they're Parkinson. Okay? So these are some of the things we have to understand in life. It depends. We cannot avoid everything. It's like someone telling me, Mike, I'm totally healthy, you know. I carry water with me, bottle water. I don't do this, I don't do that, but why do I have this problem of heavy metals? I say simple. When you eat in a restaurant, are you going to use filtered water for you? You know, are they going to use filtered water in the cooking? No. It's the tap water. So how you expect to be? Okay, unless the restaurant say we use filtered water to a certain extent. Look at the pipes around us. We are using the water from a pipe which could be there for 150 or 200 years. It's been there all along. You know, rusted iron pipe. They're not using stainless steel pipe or copper pipe. No. Okay. It's impossible to avoid heavy metals. And all heavy metals will destroy the immune system in your gut. They will go to the blood, they go to the brain, they kill the brain cells. They kill the brain cells. So all of us has to be careful too. We have to take away the heavy metals. Okay, again, eradication of the heavy metals wasn't easy. You know, you have to go to ETTA and they say 28 times or 80 times to take, and after doing all that, you still have the heavy metals. So all I want to say is, you will accumulate the heavy metals every day, even in your rice you're taking the heavy metals, even in the veggie, even the fruits. You can't avoid that. You try to take out some while you're accumulating. Okay? I always say you're losing hair all the time, but you continue to grow hair, then you still have the bunch of hair. But you lose, you don't grow, then it's another matter. It's the same scenario. We can't stop aging. Can we lengthen the telomere? The length of a cell, which is shortening each time, it can be lengthened to a certain extent, just like you increase the biological age to be younger by 6 to 18 years. But can you be 50 moving to 20? Impossible. Can you be 70 moving to 20? Impossible. Can you be 70 moving to 55? Possible. The organs. Okay? It's not just the appearance. The organ is important. The way you walk, the way you comprehend, the way you answer, it is important. So I always say, you are what you eat. You are what you do. It's true. Because what you eat also will affect on the health of all of us. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Now, I enjoy Puan Sri food. I've been to a house, you know, during Hari Raya. I love it so much. I was telling Puan Sri, why don't you set up one in Sabah, you know? Okay? I can arrange a place for you to set it up. Because I love food. I will not stop eating any food. But I always say, do everything in moderation, that's all. If you say, oh, I'm diabetic, I can't take this, I can't take that, there's no beautifulness in life then. Life must be beautiful. Life must be colorful. Life must be glittering. So to have all this, we must have quality life. Quality life or health span must be without pain. You're mobile. You still have the good cognitive function. You still have the sharp brain. That is important. Happiness is the greatest gift in all of us, not money. Money will bring you luxury. Money can give you the best doctors. But if someone is sick, all the money in the world will not bring the happiness. And someone could be in the family. Any member will destroy the whole happiness of the whole family. So let us not try to be a burden for the family. At the same time, we have to take care of ourselves, but we also then have to take care of the next person or the person or family around us. So I believe in happiness very much with being healthy. And I say prevention starts at 30. Puan Sri had something to add here?
I think we all have to have a self-love.
Yes.
You know, it's like if somebody in your family is not well, the first thing you got to do is you have to actually be healthy first. Because if you do not self-love and take care of your health, how are you going to care for the people around you? And most importantly is the mental health. You got to be very strong up here. And for me, exercise. Be surrounded by positive people.
Very important.
Very, very important. Friends. Have good friends. Friends who stand by you. Friends who will be there when you are at your worst. And these are your family. Actually, even your family cannot be as good as your friends can be because they stand by you. So you got to be surrounded with that circle. Few friends is good enough. You don't need the whole world to be your friend or everyone to like you. You don't need, you just got to be yourself. Be healthy, be positive. Exercise is a great therapy, a great healing self-healing, self-loving, and building your confidence. And I feel this world is full of energy. We all work with energy. We walk with energy. You want positive energy coming to you. If you do not think positively, you will not get the positive energy coming to you and helping you. Energy actually gives you solution. Energy helps you to move to the right direction. And that includes all your surrounding. Everything around you is totally crucial to how you're going to make your next decision. So eating good food, I believe in eating good food. I do a lot of Arabic, Middle Eastern, Malaysian. I do not use all these added preservatives. I'm very much into salt, pepper, oil, real good food. I go for real good food. I don't go for low-fat yogurt or anything. If yogurt, I'll eat yogurt, good yogurt, I believe in that. One have oil, I'll go for coconut oil, olive oil, good oil, you see? So all this depend on your individual lifestyle as well. So I wish everyone over here study more about, yourself first, then you will know how to bring what is goodness towards you. Thank you.
I think Puan Sri is very right here. You have to love yourself and take care of yourself first before you can take care of the next loved one around you or the whole family. It's like in the plane, the first thing they say, strap yourself first, and put yourself in the case of emergency first before you take care of the one beside you. It's very true. So all of us must be healthy and happy. What's the point if you are not healthy, you will never be happy? I always say that, So even God make in such a way that you win some, you lose some. None of us win in everything. None of us. So you lose something, you win something. It's always that way, okay? So surrounding with good people is so important because you mix with the wrong people, you always have the bad vibes. A lot of my staff is telling me, even my PA say, Mike, you're surrounded by sharks and opportunist people. You will be. We can't avoid that, all of us. But there are also some good ones, who are really your friends, If you want to call someone a friend, it's not without money. Okay, we don't talk money at all. That is friendship. When I was with Dr. Glenn for more than 15 years, it's friendship. We never talk a single business transaction. We meet each other, we talk about everything, we have a meal together, no business transaction. He has never mentioned a single thing where he will make money out of it, neither did I. I never sell a single product to him, although he's a medical doctor and one of the top dermatologists at that time, before he joined me 2.5 years ago. This is friendship. This is important. I value friendship very much because through friendship, we have some other things more in life. You do not know life. And nothing is guaranteed in life, I always say that. It's the same for medicine, because every time you have a patient, sometimes the patient says, can you guarantee that? I always say nothing is guaranteed in life. We don't know tomorrow. So it's the same in medicine. What works for that person may not work for the other person, or it has to be a different composition. So when we see a certain specific problem, like in the case of Parkinson, without the substantial Niagara, nothing works. So that is the most important part for Parkinson patient. When you want to talk about emotion, the hippocampus is one of the parts you have to give for the emotion. The amygdala is also important in the brain. So this is how we treat, very specific, very targeted, and very precise. And we use the word precursors, precursor stem cells, and not just any types of stem cells. Because in the market, I see everyone is treating one type of stem cells. They treat all kinds of disease. They will never work that way. That is important to understand, okay? That is my message across. And anything else from the crowd before we wrap up here? Thank you. I know we have a strong group of American doctors who came all the way. Can you imagine? And I have Mr. Rui, the chief football coach, and he's coaching the Malaysian team. He's with the footballers. He's from Portugal, Portuguese, and he comes from Australia. I mean, some of you came from so far. I have the doctors from Africa, you know. So, of course, we have some Malaysian doctors here, and on the internet, online, there are 40 of you there, you know, doctors from all over the world. I'm so happy, and I continue to do more because I always believe we do more, we have good karma. Yeah. You see, it's important. You generate more good things in life to others, you generate the good karma in you. That is so important because today you may do something for some person, but the next day it could be him or her helping you in another way. We don't know life. 20 years later, that same guy or woman or whoever he is, he may be helping you in another way. So that's how I see life. I love what I'm doing. I may not be doing it just for the money, because I believe money can't buy the happiness in the health in all of us. Money don't buy everything. Love is important. Family is important. And still, I told my staff in a company here of 400 staff in Malaysia, we are one family. We are still one family. In a family, you have some people who are different. Some people are naughty. Some people are don't keeping, but you also have the good ones. But still, you have to take care of everyone because they are all your sons and daughters, you know. So that's me in life. I always say all in one and one for all. I'm always there to share anything you have. I'm always there to support any problems you have. I will do my best. That's me, okay? And Puan Sri, anything to add?
Everything you have said and I've said, I want to create awareness. I would go anywhere in the world with you, Dr. Mike.
Thank you.
To create this awareness, because what I go through is real. In my family, which this is a journey that I'm going through. It is not easy. It's a challenge. But through my food, because food brings everybody together, food is happiness, food is my medicine, cooking is my world. All this is where I channel whatever that is bringing me down or my down moments is my kitchen. So we all have a little outlet for us to bring out our depression or our unhappiness, but find an outlet to find and create your own happiness. This is how I've developed myself. Self-development again, because when you self-love, you self-develop, you find out your own potential, you find out your strength, and bring it out and do the best for yourself. You have to do this because you only live once. Life is only one. You will have your health, you have your mental. Without your mental health, you will not be able to help the people closest around you. So this is my sharing today. I hope I can share more in all my journey with, I think with Dr. Mike. It's going to be a long way.
Yes, many more to come.
Yeah, many
now,
more.
again, you mentioned mental health is so important for all of us. Okay, whether you're a footballer, you're a golfer, you're in sport or in any other thing, if you don't have a strong mental health, you don't have the positiveness in you, you may lose the match easily. You know, it's like Lee Chong Wei fighting with Lindan. Sometimes he wins, sometimes the other guy wins. It's like a home ground for a football team. I always say that the home ground will always stand better. Because the home ground means the sound is better, the support. So that gives you more, a different kind of emotion, you know. So, of course, to solve that part, we also need to fine-tune with the hippocampus or with the amygdala, the fear in us, okay? And I always say, you have to love yourself, you have to be very prepared, and everything is in the brain. So the brain is very, very important. Thank you so much. Puan Sri is here from Kuala Lumpur because she's coming here for some therapies with Tan Sri. I think you will meet Tan Sri in the afternoon. He's doing some therapy at this moment. for his brain. He's doing some transcranial therapy and with hyperbaric. Because before we do anything with the cells, we have to give some transcranial therapy. It works better. And hyperbaric is a must. Why? Because you have to provide all the oxygen to the cells in the body, and especially the brain cells. The brain cell will snatch away the 20% of anything coming to the body first. Without the oxygen to the cells of the brain cells die faster. So when you fill it up fully and then you give the stem cells, it works wonderfully well. So there's a lot of things we have to understand here, okay? So you will see more testimony in the afternoon. I try to add some testimony so it makes it more interesting in your sense. You're hearing a lot on the theory side, the technical side, but sometimes it's not just hearing. You have to see the real people, the real testimony. Of course, there are many on the website, but in person I never expect Puan Sri to be here, and all of a sudden you say, I'm here for the therapy. I say, oh, it's good. And she said, I must say something to your doctors. I thank you, Puan Sri, for that.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.